video, I slightly discussed cancel culture and my personal opinion on it, but I did want to make an entire video on the topic because a 3-minute little section in that video was not enough time to explain how I felt about it, or really why I felt the way that I did about it. So, I guess here's that. Originally this video was going to be about the J-Schlatt drama because he got canceled a couple weeks ago. He gets canceled all the time, so that's not everything. And then Carson got canceled again for like the 100th time, and I was going to make a video on that. And then a whole bunch of other people just got canceled within the week that I knew about, like artists and stuff, and so now this is just a rant on cancel culture as a whole. So yeah, I guess let's get into that. Personally, I believe in the individual. Politically, I'm a centrist, and I align myself very much with the punk rock, like, aesthetic and, ideology and politics and such. In my opinion, cancel culture is really toxic and doesn't really do much good for society. I think that cancel culture is a form of fascism. I know that a lot of people don't see it that way because it's not a form of government, it's just a thing that happens online. They kind of just see it as a burden, but it's not really fascism in their eyes. But cancel culture comes from a place of conceit, right? It comes from a place of demanding that everyone needs to think and speak the way that you do, or they're wrong, or unworthy, or they're evil, right? And that's fascism, right? Under the rule of cancel culture, there is no room or allowance of free speech, right? Just one opinion that everyone must hold, and if they don't, they are the enemy. The idea that the agreements also must be down to a T, right? You could agree with 90% of what I say, but that 10% that you don't makes you the scum, right? You're either with me or against me, and that ideology is fascism. I believe in freedom of speech, expression, and thought, and while I might not like the Founding Fathers because I don't agree with a lot of the things that they believed, I do believe in the freedoms that they did give us, right? And I think it's kind of weird that we accept this idea that anyone who fights for freedom of speech just wants it to defend or excuse hate speech or offensive things that they may or may not say. But at the end of the day, freedom of speech protects everyone. And if we had no freedom of speech and protest, we never would have made the strides that we did to fight for rights for, a lot of oppressed individuals in this country. I might not agree with what you have to say, but I will fight for your right to say it, and I live by that. Cancel culture deletes the space for discussion, growth, and freedom of speech, right? I mean, I have many friends who have completely different ideals and beliefs than me. I have friends that are very much on the liberal side. I have friends that are very much on the conservative side. Once again, I'm a centrist, so I can kind of talk to anyone about politics realistically, and, agree with them on something and disagree with them on other things. I'm very political. I do like to talk about politics and such, so whatever, right? I have friends that the beliefs literally go against me. Like, I have conservative friends that are homophobic, and I am bi. I think it's important to hear all sides of an argument, right? And I do try to make the effort to understand the other side and try to change their opinion, right? And sometimes I end up changing mine. And I think it's important to have those conversations because politics aren't a one-sided thing, right? I think that everything should be up for discussion. I think that hearing different opinions is extremely important, especially when politics are the conversation. And I think that cancel culture has made it really people afraid to have those conversations, right? People want to separate themselves from the other side so much, right? You have leftists that go along with anything, no matter how much it contradicts other beliefs, no matter how much it doesn't make sense. And then you have right-wingers that want to be so far from the left that they end up being these alt-right crazy motherfuckers, right? You have kids that want to be the poster child for inclusivity, and then these people that want to be as traditional as they can, even if they don't necessarily believe it. Cancel culture eliminates the opportunity for growth by digging up past mistakes and holding someone to them now as if they still believe or agree with that opinion or that joke or whatever, right? Even if they've already apologized for it or have very clearly made amends for what they've done, right? It eliminates your freedom of speech by ignoring or erasing and destroying any opinion that isn't the PC far-left ideology that the internet wants you to have, right? And as I mentioned in the last video, right, there's no reason why we should be acting like children, young adults, or humans in general don't make mistakes constantly. It's a part of being a human. I think what's important is that they grow and learn from them. obviously, but you kind of are expected to not do that. Everyone just expects that if you say something 10 years ago, you still believe it, which obviously isn't true. I mean, even things that I would have said 3 years ago, I don't believe now, right? I mean, at one point in my life, I was as left as I could be, as SJW as I could be. Didn't last very long, because my entire life I've kind of been that, like, centrist, but, you know, at one point I did really try to be a very far left, like, liberal. Didn't really work out, but that's my point. Like, I would have said something then that I definitely don't agree with now, right? I think that it's important to grow, right? And, you know, change your opinions. Changing your opinions is extremely important. And, you know, it kind of just eliminates their opportunity to do that. It also eliminates the freedom of speech by trying to control everyone's actions, right? And you have celebrities that constantly get, like, canceled for not posting something on social media, right? You know, at the end of the day, your social media is your social media. No one else should be telling you, oh, you need to post this. If you don't post this, we're canceling you, right? Which I kind of went into that in the last video as well. Like, the whole idea that, you know, you force people to believe things or post things, right? And then get surprised when it's performative. So I'm not really going to get into that because it was kind of just whatever, right? But in conclusion, because I want to make this video short because really didn't want to drag this on longer than it needed to be, but in my opinion, personally, cancel culture is extremely toxic, and it doesn't really do any good. It's just a new form of fascism, and it just does nothing but erase freedoms, and it dehumanizes celebrities and people in the limelight. The minute you hit this point of success, you're just deemed the bad guy, and I think that that's unfair, because these people are still human and they still make mistakes, and we should accept that they make mistakes. We shouldn't just obviously hold people accountable to their mistakes as well, don't get me wrong, right? But in my opinion, if they don't show any reason to believe they still think that way, where they've already apologized, right, and made amends for what they've done, actions speak louder than words. I'm not gonna go and pull up tweets from 10 years ago or 6 years ago or 3 years ago where someone might have said something homophobic, if now they do what they can to be inclusive to the gay community and show that they accept them, or they've come out themselves, right? It's absolutely, you know, abhorrent to do, and it doesn't make much sense to me. It's kind of idiotic to some degree, and kind of useless. But anyway, I just wanted to make this a little short video because I wanted to post something, so there's a little rant on cancel culture, if anyone was listening. So, yeah, that's it. Peace.